people or something. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, that was the thing. I thought you might have been referencing.
But
that.
I thought they were just considered a minority because of just the sheer amount versus even the atypical Caucasians. You know, brunettes, blondes, whatever. Like, ginger is truly a diamond in the bucket, if you will, you know?
That is a good, There's much, much less.
Yes.
But also, like, to some extent.
Like, if you were saying albinos instead of black people, I could probably understand where you were coming from. Because albinos are even more rare, I think, than gingers. I've only seen one genuine albino in my life, like face to face.
I thought for a second you were going to say albinos are more rare than black people. I was going to be like, absolutely.
100%, yes.
I'm going to need to see some proof of that.
Yeah.
I know there's like a whole continent, but I'm going to need to see, and the biggest one, I'm going to need to see.
Yeah.
I'm going to need to see some proof.
Happy 50th birthday there, Horseman. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Oh, he's 50 years old.
Yeah,
now?
he cracked the big 5-0, man. Jesus.
Oh my God! You know what that means? I think AARP card. Is that 50
I don't know.
or 52?
Does Brazil have AARP cards?
I don't know. It could be. They could call it something else. I don't know. Maybe that's just. I mean, I know. I'm willing to guess that at that point they give you your mandatory 25-year-old second wife.
They just
that's how it works in Brazil.
They just let you take pictures with Messi. That's all it is.
Oh,
right? They're all big fans of Messi down there. Yeah.
He just has a giant line. He's like, I have to meet with all the 50-year-olds again.
All the 50s.
All the 50-year-olds. The 60-year-olds get to meet, I don't know.
Messi's Argentinian? Oh.
Is he? Oh, so that's where all our money went. To Messi, right?
Yeah.
Why doesn't he fucking bail out Argentina, huh? He's got money for playing the football, soccer. Why doesn't he do it?
I don't know.
Fuck, we're doing that for. Come on, Messi man. I feel so bad. I could not possibly give less of a fuck about the World Cup or soccer. I just don't. I don't care. And I've tried to get into it. To sit down and watch a soccer game and get invested, it's not for me.
I used to watch the Chicago Fire back in the day. I just kind of slipped from it. I actually went to a few events, a few games and stuff. But, I've never been, more than a casual fan here. And I don't even know if you could call me a casual. Definitely not now. But even back in the day. You
understood the rules, at least, which is beating a lot of Americans, I think, to some extent.
No, there's tons of fucking nuances I don't understand.
I
don't necessarily know how everybody gets a card and shit like that. What card balances out another card. It's...
You know what it made me actually... I don't want to go as far as to say I'd enjoyed the sport more, but I could palate it more, is if they did an arena football type version of soccer where the field was half the size. Because you would watch the games and they're just like booting them and then they run for like a minute and a half.
Isn't that kind of the fun of it though? Really? See, I think the fact that they're kicking like 60 yards with these soccer balls back and forth is the crazy shit. Like, I get it, right? A lot of people love the footwork and there's clearly a shit ton of contact with some of these soccer games. But I always found it really impressive when you just have a guy kicking the ball the entire length of the fucking field from one goalie to the other,
Well, it's almost like it's like the fucking work rate wrestling, right? I appreciate the athleticism, but I need to be less bored. I need them to do.
What you got to do? You just got to watch more games with the Latina girls in the audience. You'd be fine.
Well, I believe that there's another word for that.
Is there?
Stalking? Right. I think that's called. But that's like the funny thing is like somebody has said to me before, they're like, well, why wouldn't you enjoy that? Like, I'm like, well, I really like hockey. And they're like, well, it's kind of the same. And I'm like, no, if hockey, like if the ice was 6 times the size, it would be more boring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, when he clears the puck and a minute and a half later, he has it. Maybe like, this is boring. I'm just not crazy about
it. This is boring.
I just don't care. But I guess this is relevant because they're going to Italy and like, well, they're probably already there, right?
Oh
In
yeah,
Italy?
no, they're probably already there. I would assume. I'm not 100% sure. I would assume SmackDown is already geared up in Italy, unless it's a pre-tape, which I don't think it is.
Nah. Well, the funny thing is if they're already on the way to Italy, like Italians will handle. So they're used to watching like a boring game, you know. So they'll be able to handle whatever comes their way from WWE. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. I know I've been kind of dour on it, but international shows are fun because I like to see what the rest of the world reacts to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they try a little more.
I mean, they do, right? Like, there's some that were kind of rough. Like France, I think, is the go-to dummy when it comes to, like, this is the kind of audience you really don't want to be around. Whereas Puerto Rico was the audience you wanted to fucking drink with. So,
well, this is also why we've had this conversation many times, where it's like, WWE not doing pay-per-views in Mexico, which, by the way, now I have even less faith they're going to do that now that they got Taker running AAA.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I think so. I think they're going to do. Did you hear about that too? By the way, Wrestling Soup, I'm Ant. He's Joe.
Yo.
I was reading something. God, I know I have it pulled up over here. That the whole Kaiser thing was a work. Like, not that he didn't get arrested. And not that he might have gotten bailed out by Gunther, which is a thing we'll talk about in a second too.
Kind of awesome if that's true, yeah.
But I was reading something where they were saying that the entire premise of this story about the guy shouting ice and being all uncomfortable never happened. That WWE formulated that story in the back for the public.
Well, I can tell you this much. If they did formulate it, then that was a brilliant fucking idea for them to get work done in Mexico.
Right.
But also at the same point, if they did make that up, that's like some sort of 4D chess by TKO, where they're like, you know, like it's almost
we've
like
talked about that before. That if WWE really wants to bring kayfabe back, or at least the confusion and the excitement of wrestling, they have to trick the dirt sheets. They have to legitimately trick people into believing that everything that's happening in the real world is also something that's going to be reflective in the ring. And they had to find a way of doing that because they've tried doing that before. I mean, you can go all the way back to NXT Black and Gold. You can go back even earlier than that. And there's always been this crossover, especially with social media, where they tried having like these little spats and these feuds online between Twitter accounts and shit. And nothing ever seems to hit. It just doesn't. It's not even like it's not exciting to see some of these people go at each other. But it's just like, even on social media, it feels fake. It feels forced. It feels scripted. But now you're talking about supposedly they might have gotten some fake police shit and put it out that way. And then real news sites were picking up on it. And it's like, oh, see, that's the way you do things. And it's like, what are you going to do? Get mad at wrestling for being wrestling?
Correct. But that is also old school as shit, if you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Like them coming up with something like that, where it's like, Dusty hit him with a car in the parking lot. Like, it's like, what? The police who had a report filed, but, you know, so-and-so said they're not going to press charges. Like, oh, all right, I guess. You want to fucking work people with that level of kayfabe? Sure. Why not?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like back in the day, people would sit home with their injury for 6 months and they were perfectly fine. You know, like.
But also, and this is why I find it funny, but also, like I said, this is like TKO playing some sort of like funny TKO UFC fucking little game, right? Yeah. Where they're like, yeah, you were lied to. That would never happen. You know, like there would never, ever be a time in Florida where a guy might say something off color to a Latin American.
Well, that's person. The believability of it, too.
Yeah, that's why it worked.
Right. I mean, it's not that difficult for them to take real world, I guess, potential scenarios.
It's not easy owning a small business. Increased costs, difficulty hiring, and ever-increasing red tape. At ISME, the Irish SME